This is the Meaning Business Podcast, your go-to source for business tips, advice, growth, and exit strategies, hosted by Bruce Kudry and Peter Spinder. Each episode, we bring you real stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you succeed in today's market. Let's dive in.
Pete,
Bruce.
as we are recording, it's getting close to the end of the year 2024.
Yep.
Been a big year for you.
Been a big year for all of us, I think.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to?
Not work. A holiday, right? I need a holiday. I think last proper holiday that I had was with the family about 2 or 3 years ago in New Zealand. That was for a month. Having some proper holidays since then. Last Christmas, I think I took a week off and that was it. I'm tired.
You need our break.
I haven't had a holiday.
Yeah.
And like this is a proper holiday where you're not working. It's not 2 days off and laptop open, that sort of thing.
Which is what I'll be doing. But I don't mind. I love that, actually. I'll get my chance to have a holiday later next year.
Yeah, look, I'll have, I've actually already put aside some time to do what you do, which is planning, pause, and I'm going to put a couple of days aside. I'm actually going to go away from the family for a couple of days, rent an apartment out for a couple of days.
I'll be happy.
Yeah, they will. Dad's not around to boss them around. Do this, do that, watch this, watch that.
You come home, the house will be trash.
Oh, look, it is what it is, and then I'll just clean it up. But I think, I'm looking forward to a break, and I'm looking forward to going away for a couple of days and just thinking about, okay, what was the year like? What did I do well? What didn't I do well? Successes, failures, mistakes, et cetera, set the plans for the year forward.
Yeah, because you need a break. You deserve a break. You've earned the break, right?
I think everyone earns a break.
Yeah.
And I need one. Absolutely. But I feel like I need one.
So I wanted to talk today about New Year, New Plan. And I wanted to talk also about the weird phenomenon that I've noticed after 26 years of selling businesses, year after year. It takes you a while to appreciate, to figure out what's going on, but this is what I believe is happening. So first of all, people at Christmas time, all of a sudden, at Christmas Day, everything stops. And instead of running, you stop. And literally on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, you're sitting there, usually at home, either with family that you want to be with or family that you don't want to be with. And let's be honest, that's what happens.
Yep.
Or doing things that you really want to do or doing things that you don't want to do. But you're sitting there and you'll get a bit of quiet time. You don't have to go to work, most of us. You don't have to answer the phone. You don't have to write that email or respond. So you just got a bit of quiet time. Yeah, and that quiet time goes on for Boxing Day and then the next day and then the next day. And pretty soon you're going to go back to work, but it's just enough time for you, for most of us, to contemplate, consciously or unconsciously, where we're at. Are we happy? What have we achieved? And then you get to the 7th day, which is New Year's Day. And quite often we'll either go out and have a New Year's Eve party, or we'll watch New Year's Eve on TV or do something and then, yay, midnight, Happy New Year, twice in Australia.
Fall asleep at 9, 10 o'clock at night and go, I missed New Year's again.
Yeah, there's fireworks at 9 o'clock where I live, so that's good. And then, most of us, many of us are like, what's your New Year's resolution the next day? And, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to get fit, or those sorts of things. But you've had that preceding time to contemplate what you're doing. So what happens is in business sales is it's amazing. Business owners are quite convicted by the 1st of January that I'm selling, or I've got to sell, or I've got to buy another business, I've got to acquire, I've got to grow, or I've got to get rid of that staff member, or I've got to spend more money on marketing.
Change needs to happen.
Yeah, because you've had that quiet time and you're going to go back to work and I'm going to do things better, I'm going to do things differently. And I don't care if you're a school teacher or whatever, you'll take your time, you'll think, I'm going to do this differently this year. And similarly, people who have been contemplating buying a business think that's it. It's the catalyst for doing something.
Yep.
And suddenly people do things.
Yep.
And they take action, but it doesn't last long, that feeling. It's just like the New Year's resolution, I'm going to quit smoking. 20th of February, they're back on the cigarettes again. It's a temporary thing. So that's what I've noticed. But just one other thing that's also contributes to this It's Australian, I think, largely, and it starts around about the end of September, and it works like this. It lulls us into this Christmas thing. So we have the Rugby League and AFL Grand Finals, and that is takes a lot of people's attention. Not everyone's a Rugby League or AFL fan or soccer, but you're into
It's
it,
a big
right?
group.
Yeah, and there's some people are playing, and their competition ends. So you've got Grand Finals and excitement and that sort of phase. And then, there's Bathurst a couple of weeks later, and then some people are into that. And then it's the Spring Carnival and Melbourne Cup. And airlines and airports will tell you that traffic is up that period of time. And in Australia, I notice that business sort of goes on hold a little bit for business owners particularly. So then we have the period we're in now. It's November, post Spring Carnival and post the Grand Finals. People start thinking, oh, well, I'll do it next year. I'll look forward to next year. And, kids are finishing school, so we're starting school holidays. We're going to plan for school holidays. We're going to plan for Christmas. We're going to have that break over Christmas. So if you're in business, you've got to plan for that. If you're not in business, you're planning on your holidays. So there's sort of this weird, post grand final up till Boxing Day period where people have got not much going on or got excuses for putting things off. Then Christmas hits. Then we contemplate. Then the reality dawns. I'm going to go back to work. I've got to do the things I decided I couldn't do in November.
Then we've got the Australia Day weekend coming in January. So,
but it does. There's this time where it's a new year and we're going to make new plans, and that's a good thing. So we talked before about making plans.
It's an interesting one. Got a client whose business at the moment is just crazy busy. And basically they said, look, Peter, we just don't have time for anything at the moment other than we've got to fulfill our obligations to customers. That's what they're focusing on. And they said, look, we've got to work hard until Christmas. And then after Christmas, just like you said, there's a bit of a lull period. And up until maybe third week of January, things are going to be quiet in the business. So we're already discussing with those owners at the moment of, okay, come January, here are the things that we're going to do. We're going to get together. We're going to do reflection. We're going to redo business plans, that sort of thing, to take advantage of the quieter periods, because things always ramp up, especially after Australia Day, things start picking up and ramping up. So certainly something that I've noticed as well. And I know myself, like you asked before, what am I looking forward to? Well, I'm looking forward to a break, and I'm working very hard at the moment to be able to take a break. So I think there's a lot of other business owners in the similar sort of boat at the moment. We're thinking, I need a break. Can't wait for Christmas.
Yeah. We had this great headmaster at my kid's school. He's not there anymore, but he started this little private school many years ago, 25 years ago. And he used to say that you want to finish the year falling across the finish line. And that is a great way. And a couple of other things come from that. So you push yourself. It's like the marathon. Get there, collapse. That's a great way to enjoy a holiday. If you do nothing every day of the year, Christmas Day and holidays are just another day.
Yeah.
But if you work your butt off and you earn that holiday, you really appreciate it. And that's a great way to have a holiday. And then, as I say, after a couple of days, you get clarity and you get vision, and you're not having to deal with day-to-day issues. It enables you to put yourself in a mindset where you can go, right, how am I going to make a difference? And if you take, in my experience, a couple of hours or maybe a day or even a couple of days to just rejig what I'm going to do and set your goals and write them down and make it happen, it will happen, but there's a couple of other provisos which we've spoken about, right?
Absolutely. We'll touch on that in a minute. But I guess to add to your point, all you need to do if you're a listener or watching this is hop onto Google and read up a little bit about some of the most successful business people out there, businessmen and women. And most of them typically every year will go away, and some of them go away for a week at a time, hide away from everybody, and all they do is they read, they think, they analyze, they meditate.
That's right.
They sort of get their head in the right space. So, if the most successful business professionals are doing this, entrepreneurs are doing it, we should all be doing this. So, it's really time for that reflection. But then here's the thing and we've seen this, right? And you would have seen this, anyone that's listening to this or watching this is, your friend says, maybe you've gone through it as well yourself. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to take up exercise, all that sort of stuff. And like you said, Bruce, it's okay for a few weeks, and then by the end of January, early February, you're breaking that. The drinking, the smoking, the whatever comes back into it, and next thing you know, I'll worry about it next year, sort of thing. So how do we stick to our plan? How do we make sure that as business owners, if we decide, right, I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this, this is my approach for this year.
So
how
can
do
I
we
jump
make
in?
sure?
Because
Yeah.
the first thing is a goal without a plan is just a wish. So you have to have the plan.
Absolutely. And it's got to
So-
be written down.
Yeah. So if I'm telling you I'm going to lose weight, that's my goal.
Yep.
And I don't have a plan, well, it's just a wish.
Yeah.
But if I have a goal that I'm going to lose weight and the plan is I'm going to manage my eating and I'm going to exercise more and yada, yada, sit down less, that's my plan, then it's going to happen. So obviously the first obvious fundamental thing is a goal without a plan is a wish, so we need a plan.
Yep.
But a plan on its own is not good enough.
Pointless.
Yeah. Well, it's a start.
Well, to start,
Actually, the goal is a start, but it's
You know what
without a
it's
plan.
pointless?
The plan is a start, but it's pointless without.
well, it's pointless if you don't do any, if it just sits there. Because you
Correct.
just say,
Just
to yourself,
correct.
I've done the plan, I got to do.
But it's the other steps that follow that
Yes,
make that
that's the
goal and
important
the
stuff.
plan work, right? So, so what does a plan need to happen? What do you need to do?
What do you need to do? You need to take action. You need to be able to be accountable to those actions. That also means that you've got to be regularly sitting down and going, okay, well, am I on track? Have I achieved the things that I want to do? So you've got to measure
Yeah.
the outcomes.
Yeah.
And probably the one thing that I would say is, if you can, actually not if you can, I shouldn't use those words. You have to, every quarter, pause yourself and go, right, I'm going to review my business plan. I'm going to review my financials. I'm going to review, and look, financials, you should be reviewing them at least weekly. You got to be understanding where your business is at. But I'm talking about proper sort of analysis and go, am I on track with my budget, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So, the goal is great, but you need a plan. The plan is great, but you need to implement it.
That's right.
Implementation is great, but you need to review. And I was talking to somebody, a really good operator named Linda Steele, and she had a client whose revenue aim was 8.5 million. And she said, oh, no, you should aim for 10. You can do 10. And they did 10. And it was interesting that, so the person had the plan, they had the goal, they had the plan, they were implementing the plan, but they needed her to review the plan with them. So we all often need someone else to review that plan. Sometimes it might be, no, that's impossible. There's only 365 days a year, you can't do that, you know what I mean? So it could be upgrade the plan or downgrade the plan or change the plan.
And you're so right with that. And this is where, your advisors, your mentors, your coaches, guides, call them whatever you want to call them. This is where they come in, because they can challenge you and they can say, okay, well, Peter, you're living up in the ether at the moment, clouds, and you got to bring it back down. Or they might say, you know what, man, you got to stop hitting yourself and stretch yourself because you're better than that. You got to push yourself.
So the other day, sorry, I shouldn't be telling you. The other day I was like, oh, I can do 10. I used to be able to do like 40 push-ups. Like, no, 10, I'm struggling at 10.
Yeah.
And someone in my family said, you can do 20. I thought, let me watch you.
Yeah.
So I got to 12 and something. They're like, easy, 13, 14, only 5 more. I did it, of course, right? So having that person there, just like a personal trainer.
Absolutely.
You just need it, and you just need that. Sometimes you need people who have faith in you or to see from the external point of view, you can do this.
Yep.
At other times, you need to say, no, you're pushing yourself too hard.
Do you remember we attended the Wobi World Business Forum recently in Sydney?
Yeah.
And you remember Kathy Freeman? She came up and she was talking.
Yeah.
And what did she say? She was saying that one of the most influential people and influential moments in her life was when she was young and she was actually told that you can do it, that you should be aiming to become the fastest woman. You should be aiming for that. And that stuck in her head and she believed it. And she believed it because everyone around her in her support network elevated her up and said, Kathy, you can do it. And she believed it. And then through that belief and the other people supporting her, she got better and better and better. And she's like, next thing you know, I was winning this, I was winning that. Next thing you know, I'm in nationals. And, before you know it, I'm standing there on the podium with the gold medal. And what an extraordinary story where And this is the power of impact, is that we're not just solo individuals on a journey of soloship and solo leaders. You know, leadership is a team
I think
thing.
she had a team of 9.
Yeah, team of people around her.
Do you remember she said, oh, this is quite cool because she's so humble and
Oh,
so shy.
incredible how humble and
giggly.
shy she is.
But
Wonderful woman.
Yeah, she said when she got onto that block, she knew she was going to win.
Yes.
She just knew it.
Yep.
It was just all she had to do was execute what she planned. She was going to win.
Yep.
She knew it from start.
Yep. It goes back to, this is another episode, and I don't know if we've done this one, which is this self-belief, but, it's just having that belief. And it's not just about the belief. And I say this to my daughter. She's wanting to become a Matilda, an international football player. And I say to her, honey, and we're actually out running yesterday. I said, sweetheart, just so you know, right now, what you're doing right now is what's going to differentiate you from everyone else. What you do when no one watches, what you do and how you act when no one watches, when you can do what you want. That's the important thing. And that's the same thing in business where you're on holidays. If you just carve out a few hours to do some planning,
well, everyone else
that's right.
Lying in bed.
And that's what makes the difference.
Correct. Exactly
that's
right.
what makes the difference.
And you've got the clarity of mind to do it at that point in time. And then you go away and review it after 3 or 6 months or 4 months, either on your own or with someone else helping you to be.
What I said to Sophia, the important words I used was, you're going to come running with me. She didn't want to. She said, just came from school. I said, and I paused her. I said, honey, do you want to become a football player? Yes or no? Yes, I do. I said, okay. What do you need to do in order to become that? And we discussed it, and she just ran upstairs, put on her exercise gear, came down, and she was ready to go. I'm like, okay, we're not going just yet. We'll go in a couple of hours when Mum comes home. Okay,
because you're doing it while others aren't.
That's right. But here's the thing, and this is the really big important message for everyone out there, and this is why it's important to not go this journey by yourself and be solo and do the planning yourself. The reason you also want to talk to other people is because those people can look at you and go, Bruce, you know what? I know this is a difficult task to do, but listen, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? You want to do this? Well, you know what? You have to do it. Let's just pick it up. Let's just put on those running shoes and let's go.
Yeah.
And like I did with Sophia, we put on the running shoes, went for a run. Within 5 minutes, we're laughing, we're giggling, we had a really fun time. So sometimes, and this is why it's beneficial to have advisors and people around you to bring you up, is because sometimes we just don't want to do the things that we really do need to do.
Exactly.
So they can kick us up the butt and go, Bruce, no, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
And here's the reasons, as long as they understand it. And the motivation comes back. And then you start doing it, you're like, oh, this is actually good. We're achieving things.
And then it becomes routine. And good routine, like Kathy Freeman, with all her training and all of her regime, becomes normal. And then you get good at it. And you build on that.
Exactly. So I think we've delved into it enough.
You've had enough? Okay. So new year, new plans. Let's get into it. And a goal without a plan is just a wish.
Yep.
So don't just make the plan, but execute.
Execute, live it, enact it, challenge yourself, hold yourself accountable. And all the best.
Enjoy the Christmas break.
2025.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.